All right, guys, we have Darla Osuna with us today from San Antonio, Texas. And your story, Julius had sent me your story, and I was like, dude, we have to have her in here because it's pretty amazing. And you've been with Family First Life for a short period of time, but you're going to share what you did to go from a situation that probably most people, they would maybe give in to those circumstances, and you kind of fought it. And I'm looking forward to hearing about it and what you've learned the short months you've been here. For everybody watching, every 48 hours we have an interview with somebody like this that has an amazing success story on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Drew, Spotify,
and Apple Music.
And Apple Music, so you can listen to them on all of those channels. But if you have not, subscribe to our page. That way you get notified, turn the notifications on, and you can get notified to share, because somebody might be in your situation and let's say I'm recruiting, I could take this video, I could share it with someone in your situation, and it can help them.
Of course.
So Darla, thank you for coming in. If you can start, tell us a little bit about your career and how you ended up at Family First Life.
Okay, so I was a sales supervisor for 2 years, and I led a top performing team, and we were top in the company, and I just felt stuck, and I just knew there was something
Now,
else.
how old are you?
I'm 27.
You're 27. You were a sales supervisor for how long?
2 years. I was 25.
What does that mean?
I would pretty much coach agents, teach them how to sell.
On life insurance?
Oh no, it was for cable, internet, home phone, and mobile. We had to sell all of those in one.
Dude, they're persistent. They call me all the time. I block the number. I get called from a different number.
Yes, definitely.
They're good. They're in every store. Hey, you want to sign up for cable? Everywhere you go.
Yeah, it was an inbound call center, so it was nonstop calls.
Oh, it was an inbound call center. So if someone's interested, they call in.
Correct.
And then the sales part, is that upselling them to get more add-on stuff?
Correct. So we had to just try to sell them quads. If they called in for internet, we had to get them cable, internet, home phone, and mobile.
Is the reason because they're more likely to keep it if they have all four of those things in one place, or?
It's more so just identifying their needs and just seeing how we can cater to that. And
do you know if there's any research that shows if they have more than one service that they won't cancel?
It depends, because we would bundle them, so they would get better deals when they would bundle. And more often than not, that we would find, what they were streaming, and then cater that towards the cable services.
Yeah. So what we found in insurance is if you get somebody and they have 4 or 5 different policies, like their kids get children's whole life or IULs, and they get an IUL and they get a life insurance, the more policies, the less likely they are to ever leave you.
Yes.
So we always tell people, service your customers and find more ways to help them. And it's also going to keep persistency on the books as far as selling insurance. And I bet you cable does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
What about YouTube TV? I just got that, and it's pretty legit. Is that hurting the cable companies?
I would say to an extent, yes. But there are a lot of I guess different types of shows and premium shows that the cable services do have to offer that that are not to the par of YouTube originals.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends on the person that you're speaking to and how you just identify their needs, what they like to watch, and just kind of go based off of that and try to get them into a bundle package that can cater that.
Do you feel like this has helped you in insurance, learning all this?
It definitely has, because like I said, I come from a strictly top-down, shoving down things people's throats to try to get them into, things that they didn't call in for. And so that type of persistency has, provided me the stepping stone into coming into this, because you do have to help them and work around their budgets and just making sure that they're put in the best position possible. So if I can top down and sell that, then I can definitely work around their budget and get them something that they need.
So you were doing that, and then you decided why'd you decide you didn't want to do it anymore?
Because there was a cap, and I was doing so well, and the VP of the company told me that I'm going to go far within the company. And that just kind of left a sickening feeling in my stomach, because I just thought to myself, how long would that take to get to your level? And he's been in the company for 25 years, and he barely
Does he have to die for you to get to that level?
Pretty much. So yeah, so pretty much everybody has to either retire, quit, get fired, one of those two, and pretty much by the time somebody's quit, fired, retired, there's already someone in place for that. So I mean, there's not really, it's very competitive, but I mean, I just didn't see myself retiring there, and I just needed to find something, and I just searched, and then I found this, and I just.
How'd you find it?
Well, a coworker actually left the company for FFL and went full time, and so he told me about it.
Who's that?
His name is Roque, and so he left.
Rocky?
Roque.
Rocky or?
No, we just call him Roque.
Drew, does that sound like Rocky or no?
No, it does. I don't. That's a tricky one.
They would call him Rocky though, because of his spelling, but. Yeah, he left the company, and I saw him, traveling, and I guess he was on a travel trip, and I reached out, and, it just didn't seem believable. He plugged me into the Facebook group. I watched from the sidelines, and...
So you're still working, and you were in the Facebook group?
Yes, I was still working, and, I mean, I still didn't have full faith into it. It just seemed too good to be true, I mean, as most people say. But actually what caught my attention was the leadership. And to me, that's, whether I can be making $5,000 a month, but the leadership is there, then I know that, they'll help me drive the success that I need and the development that I need. And that's something that was always missing in the corporate world. It's always do this, but not how to do it.
So my friend just started here, and he made good money. Mm-hmm. And he said that, and he had all no-shows the other day. And I go, do you wish you went back to the corporate world where you were at? And he goes, the worst day here is better than the best day there. Definitely. And I said, even getting no-showed and driving around? And he goes, yeah. And I go, why? And he said, because everybody was like trapped in their situation. And he's like, all the guys complained about their at-home life. And he's like, how much they don't like this or that about their home life, what a disaster everything is, how they're kind of trapped in the rat race of they have to have that job.
Yeah.
They don't have any leverage of taking any risk anywhere because they have just enough to provide, which they're providing. Yes. But he said it's kind of just negative.
It really is.
That was his feedback to me. I'm sure that all situations are not like that, but probably some of them are,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely is a corporate world. And to me, that is not effective. And it took me a very long time to build a strong culture within my team and, to get them to perform, because they were a bottom performing team out of the whole company at the time. And I realized that, just with the right culture, that changes everybody's mindset on leadership. And
now you were making, you were making good money? I
was making 6 figures.
You were making 6 figures?
Yes.
And then did you just up and quit and start with Family First Life?
Yes, I left the company, and I was still watching from the sidelines. I had a lot of money saved, and I just needed, I guess, to find the right leader, I guess. That I was just kind of browsing through the Facebook, trying to see.
How'd you get in your friend put you in the Facebook?
Yeah, he put me in. And Julius had posted, I think, the stats, and so I commented on his Facebook post, and I was like...
Now, how many months of you not working before this happened?
I would say about 7 months.
Oh, so you didn't work for 7 months. Mm-hmm. What were you doing?
I was just, trying to find something else, and I still didn't have...
Do you have family, kids, dogs, anything?
No.
Fish, plants?
I have a cat.
You got a cat?
My motivation right now.
Hey, my motivation for a long time was getting a bigger yard for my dogs to run in.
Yeah.
So after 7 months, did you blow through your savings?
Yes, I would say yes. Well, at that time, no, because fast forward. Let me backtrack it to that Facebook post. So I commented, who can help me? Who can mentor me? I just kind of asking for help. And so Julius immediately, like not even 10 seconds, is like, Clay's going to contact you. And so.
Did you put your number on there?
No, it's just
This is a big tip for people in the Facebook group. There's a lot of people that want help.
Yeah. And to me, that I'm forever grateful for Julius for, being so responsive.
For responding?
Yeah, he was a catalyst in this whole thing. And I wouldn't be here, if it wasn't for Julius.
So someone added you 7 months later. You go, maybe I should try this. But at that point, how many different things did you look at doing in that 7 months?
All types of jobs.
And how many things did you try?
It's like about 6. And I was planning on going back to school. And I was already in the registration process. And just kind of like, if I can't find...
School for what?
It was just pretty much for Ayurveda, which is kind of holistic way
medicine? Holistic medicine?
Yes.
That's cool.
So that was what I was going to go back to school for. And then Julius had Clay reach out to me, and he reached out over Facebook Messenger. And so I missed his call, and I was like, oh my gosh, I missed my opportunity. Because I saw, Clay was always posting as well. And so, and I saw him as like this huge deal. And so I missed his call. And so I sent him a voice message. I was like, hey, can you help me? Like, I want to grow a team. I just need the right tools, and just kind of saying the same thing that I told Julius, but just more in detail. And so Clay called me back, and he was just kind of all for it. And he's just, I'll get you where you want to be. Just put in the work. And actually, and even after that, it took me like about a month or two to still like pass my test. And it actually caught my attention on the podcast that you guys did the other day of how many people slip through your fingers when you don't follow up with them. And so Clay was always following up with me.
You could have easily been you were like seconds away from just moving on through school.
Yeah.
And not looking into this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 7 months, though, what were you telling yourself to make you not want to do it or start? Was there negative thoughts about anything, or did you not believe it was true, or did you not believe in yourself a little bit, or what was it, do you think? Were you scared of failure?
No, it wasn't a failure. It was just, I just didn't know enough. And I just wasn't, the only thing I was exposed to was just the Facebook group. And then once I started really deep diving into the videos, Clay had told me to watch videos, and once I started doing that, then I got even more exposed as to what the business is. And
do you think that Family First Life having 400 offices will help people because they have a place to go to get plugged into?
Definitely.
For sure.
And that's
like
why,
this one, but it would be in Houston and all over.
And that's why I want to open up eventually an office in San Antonio, because there's a lot of runners out there. And even being, because I'm not, the only exposure I have is through, the videos and all that stuff, which is great. I've learned a lot. But after being at convention and being around, actually Hall of Famers and hearing their stories and being able to pick up nuggets, whenever you want type of thing, and hearing how they do call flow and being exposed to that, every dial day can make a huge impact in, the growth of a new, someone that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm growing my team, and, that's something I definitely want to do, and, do little incentives like you have out there. And that's something that me and the team...
You want to make an environment.
Definitely.
And you're building a team now.
Yeah. So I have about 28 people that I'm working with right now. I have 6 writers. The rest are either in class, fingerprinting, contracting. So I'm definitely...
Now, what's your motivation besides your cat? It can't just be your cat.
Honestly, it's just to get as many people out of corporate as possible, because I know there's so many people wanting that golden ticket like I wanted, and being able to provide that to them, and, exposing them to the company and how great it is.
So you're recruiting from corporate world,
mm-hmm.
which is a little different, because we've always recruited in insurance world.
Yes.
But how many legit, talented, hardworking people are in corporate world?
I would say it's a bit of a gamble, because what I'm learning from that is actually because, I mean, some people perform in the corporate world because they had to. And so when they're put into a self-employed environment, you know, it's different.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
So not everyone's going to make it.
Correct.
Now, do you think we've talked a lot about having the whatever it takes mindset, which means like some weeks might not go good, but you still got to do whatever it takes. Do you feel like that's what you've done to make sure you hit your numbers?
Definitely. And when we were at the producer panel, Jordan Lowry asked me at any point, did you ever want to quit? And I said no, because there's just nothing else. Like, this is it for me, and I just have to make something out of this, and there's no other option. And so
now, what do you tell people when you hire them? Like, you're not forced to work. You have to want to work.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much flat out tell them this is, I mean, there's a system in place for a reason, and it's been proven to be successful so many times. And I mean, you can look at the Facebook groups and you can watch all the videos. It's everywhere, and the system works if you do. And so the only way this is not going to work is if you don't work. And so I definitely lay that down in the very beginning, and especially letting them know, like, you're going to have those days in the beginning. And just like Clay told me in the beginning, you're going to suck. And
how bad did you suck?
I sucked very bad. But I mean, I would call him. I would watch a lot of videos. I just, like I said, there's no plan B for me. So I just did whatever it took to get better and to, you know, sharpen my skill set. I'm still learning, obviously. But
so how often do you listen to like podcasts in the car, or how do you learn?
In the morning, after my run days.
What do you listen to?
Everything. I just
whatever
browse,
there is.
I just browse through. I mean, Paul McLean has his own channel. I mean, Trey has his own videos. You have your own videos. Grady. So it's just a rabbit hole that I just fall into, and I just.
Is that on YouTube? You just
on YouTube.
That's cool.
So that's pretty much what I listen to, watch. Like, I don't even watch TV anymore. Like, that's just my Bible in a sense.
So you're using that. You know what's funny? So in the beginning of the year, I stayed home for like a week because I was sick. Okay. And I was watching the news, and I never watched the news. Drew, did I tell you about this?
Keep going.
Maybe. And then all of a sudden I felt like depressed, like the world was ending. And I'm like, dude, what happened to me? Yeah. I'm like this positive person, and I love working and helping people. And all of a sudden I watched the news off and on, and I'm like, whoa, the world's ending.
Yeah.
Like looking at buying ammo on the internet. And the funny thing is, though, for like 10 years, I never watched the news. People would tell me, you hear what's going on? No, because I was in my own world building a company and not paying attention to any of that stuff. So it's interesting that you say that, because that's what I did. I would drive and I would listen to stuff in the car, and I would do travel trips. So I would learn a lot on the way to the car. I'd have no distractions. I'd be able to think. And that was like the best time for me to actually process information and different things I could do. You know?
Yeah.
But it shows you are a student of the business. So are there little things you pick up from these videos that you apply, or how do they help you?
A lot, especially there's three. The Paul McLean, when getting your mindset right before, you know, your dial day, I would watch that. I would wake up an hour earlier just so I can watch that before my dials and start at 7:30. And so that video is like an hour, but every time you listen to it, you just pick up something different, and it translates it to every video.
Now, what does that mean, getting your mindset right?
Just getting into the right mindset, you know, being positive, saying affirmations, and, you know, just making sure that, you know, you are going to get the job done, and, you know, it just the fact that
what
it
are
works
some of
if
your
you do.
affirmations that you say?
Just, you know, I'm going to book today. I'm going to reach my 15 appointments. If I hit 15 appointments, or, you know, earlier on, then I'll reach for 17. And once I hit 17, I'll aim for 20. And so just really keep going. I don't stop at 15. It's just
so you're preparing your mind before your dial day.
Mm-hmm.
What happened when you weren't doing that?
I would let my mind get to me a little bit. I didn't want to quit, but I was self-aware in the aspect of, okay, I'm not putting myself in the best position right now. And if I keep doing this, then I'm not going to have a good dial day. And so, I mean, like I said, that finding that Paul McLean video was a game changer for me, and especially in that podcast with Jamie Cheerio. And at the time, I think it was like maybe my second dial day, and he had said something along the lines of, just put the numbers in your favor. And that's really what he kept saying. And so I did. I bought extra leads, and that week, I booked 20 appointments, and so that was a very pivotal moment for me. And and even before that, I was watching Jamie Cheerio on the live dials. It was that day that Julius hopped on, and so I was listening to his live dial while I was on my way to an appointment, and so and I even pulled over, and I was like, how does he do this? Like, I need to get to this level. And so I pulled over on the side of the road just to listen to Jamie just dial and just bulldoze through everything. And then Julius hopped on, and I saw that he
So if someone
through.
worked with us, what is live dials?
Live dials are when you can hear other producers, specifically top producers, make dials and overcome all types of objections.
Is it every Monday and Thursday, or?
Every Monday and Thursday.
So every Monday and Thursday, every big team has their own live dials that any agent can get on.
Yes.
And that was helpful for you?
It really was. I have it on while I'm dialing all day. I tell my agents to have it on all day.
You know what I love about it? A lot of people say work with, us because we're good, but the FFL culture is work with us and watch, let us show you.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to tell you we're good. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to do it, and you're going to see it.
Yes, and that was a selling point for me to come here, because in a lot of corporate environments, they tell you what to do but not how to do it. And so I was always, that was always a missing piece for me. And so once, I started working with Clay, and, I could never thank him enough for all that he's done for me, because one, he's been up, till midnight on his time to go over in homes with me, do coachings, give me advice. I would call him after a run day. So he's put a lot of effort and time into my development, and he's shown me how to do it.
Only because you're working, though.
Yes.
See, a lot of people go, Andrew, why don't you talk to me? Because, and the reason is because they've been saying they're going to do something for 6 months. Now, if we find somebody that they come in, they book the appointments, or at least they attempt to, I want to work with that person, because let's say you suck. Let's say you're the worst person ever, but you make 400 dials. I can work with that, but I can't work with the person that never picks up the phone, but constantly is getting ready to prepare to do something.
And that's something I'm learning, because I feel my fault as a leader is I just want everybody to succeed so bad that I sometimes want it more than they do. And so he's taught me how to draw that line and just kind of be like, whoever wants it, work with the people who, are raising up their hand and say, hey, I need help, and just, focus on them. And, the people that will follow will come around, and when they're ready, I'm ready.
So when 7 months in of you quitting your job, because you just did you have a bad day and you just came in and said?
No, I just knew there was something else out there. And with corporate, they were always telling us, you're never going to find anything better that's going to pay better than this. And so, and a lot of people would leave the company and come back. And so that was terrifying to me, and I just didn't want to be stuck anymore. And I just knew that once I got out, then I'm going to find my golden ticket. And I did, and there's no going back to corporate.
So after the 7 months, though, how much money did you have left over that you had saved?
Okay, so by the time I bought my first batch of leads, I only had enough for rent. And so I used all of my rent money to buy my first batch of leads. And I didn't care. I didn't look back. I didn't hesitate. It's just, I knew there was something. I knew I was going to make.
Were you freaked out?
Not freaked out. At that point, I just had so much faith in the system and in my leaders. And I knew it had to be done. And I just didn't want to let Clay down either. And at that point, he was already developing me as a leader. So I just went all in, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make something out of this, and I'm going to end up getting sales from this. And so, I just did the work. And my first couple of run days, I didn't do well. I didn't sell anything. I got a lot of no-shows, and I got back to dialing. and rebooked a couple people that no-showed me, and I made sales off of them on the next run day. And so, and then Clay helped me out with some leads as well. And, and I was like, he helped me out, and I'm going to make sure I maximize on all of this. And so that day I booked about 21, 22 appointments. And obviously I was still learning, so I still got no-shows, hang-ups, and stuff like that. But, that week I submitted 10K my first full week. And so, I just did the work, and that was another pivotal point for me.
What kind of leads did you buy?
My first batch, they were Bang Bang leads.
So first batch of leads was Bang Bang leads.
Mm-hmm.
How many did you buy?
About $1,000 worth.
About $1,000 worth, and you wrote 10,000.
Yes. Well, Clay. Well, I sold about 3,000 from the people who no-showed me that I rebooked.
Got it. So from older leads.
Mm-hmm. From older
that
leads.
You worked. You know what's funny? I've given the same batch of leads to new agents for free, and they've all made sales on the same batch.
Yeah, that's actually how that actually happened to me the other day. So what I did was I double booked. Whenever the client no shows me once, I always try to, when I rebook them, I double book just in case they no show me again. And so, that person, I ended up not closing them, but I got into their home this time around, and I didn't close. I went to the second appointment and closed on them, and it's just resolving those leads.
It's pretty amazing that you used your rent money. Did you think about, if I didn't sell anything, I won't have money for rent?
No, I actually called Clay. And I asked him, I was like, should I get more, should I get more money, or, just find a way to invest more? Because I just
what
wanted.
Was going to be the way? Borrow money?
No, I don't know. Just sell whatever I can, something. I'll
sell
figure
something
out.
On Craigslist or something?
Yeah. I knew I'd figure out a way somehow. I'm very resourceful. So,
You do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. I almost got evicted for it. So,
you've almost been evicted before, or
well,
that was it?
Well, if I hadn't,
were you like
closed.
Were you like about to get evicted, or you were just late?
No, I was. Well, I got the eviction letter.
You had the eviction letter.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I got it a couple days after, because when I ran it was towards the maybe about mid-month, and then so I was just holding on to it, and so just in case, and so I had already had the eviction letter in there.
What'd you do with it? Frame it? You should have framed it.
I should have. Yeah.
And so you went out there, you faced all the adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a place to go if you did get evicted?
My family, they live about 4 hours south of San Antonio, so it's kind of like a border town, or it is a border town. And so, that was just kind of my option, but I didn't see it that way. I just knew that something was going to come out of this. And, as long as you invest and do the work, you're going to get paid for it. So that's just what I've seen, and that's just what I followed.
How much of this is mental, do you think? For agents, like they just get in their own head, and
a good portion, maybe about 80%.
I think it is 80%.
Mm-hmm. And then just the extra 20 is just taking action.
I was talking to somebody, and he goes, "Okay, you got two scenarios. One, let's say you call a lead and the guy died. Mm-hmm. The agent gets mad, comes back, asks for their money back on the lead from wherever they got it. Pissed that they lost money because the guy already died. The next guy sells a policy to the wife and helps her. So one person sees that same situation as an opportunity, and one person sees that same situation as something bad happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting.
It really is.
And it's like there was one point in time when I was running appointments where I sold myself on this, that every bad thing that happened, which it's not really bad, it's more of annoying, no shows, cancels, all this stuff,
a learning experience,
that I was always going to find that there was something about me. I made this up about myself and told myself this, that I always turn a bad situation into a good one. And I always do it. And I remember one week I got a whole bunch of leads. There was this company that said, we'll give you, it was a ridiculous amount of leads. And they said, the lead basically said you can get free information, and it was totally bogus. And I bought like 100 of them. And me and Paul McLean were always on the phone together running appointments. And I told him, I go, dude, I've run like 20 of these and I'm getting thrown out of every house, right? He's like, yeah, that's crazy. And then I go, I'm going to run every single, instead of throwing them all away, I'm going to run every single appointment. And then 1 out of 100, check this out. This is the most craziest thing ever. 1 out of 100, I ended up getting a 20,000 commission on. We're just like, dude, you cannot make this up, you know? But I was like out to prove that I could turn, because I was pissed at the lead company that sold me the leads, and I would never use them again. But I was still like, I'm going to turn this bad situation into a good one. I'm going to be relentless about it. And I kind of love that. Do you ever think when something bad happens to you, you challenge it, like you're going to reverse it, and you actually find joy in that?
Yeah. I had a couple of run days where I had a lot of no-shows a couple weeks ago. And, and I was just, I'm not going to let that dictate my situation. And, the leads work if you do. So I ran the numbers, and I submitted about 13,000 that week. And so it made up for the other days. So it just, just challenging yourself, and you can't accept certain things.
Now, you think it's easier? I got a question for you. Do you think it's easier to be in this business? And this is the truth. A lot of people, they don't run it like it's a business. They don't run it like they're working a regular job. It's kind of like a hobby, and they're almost gambling. They get a couple leads here and there. Do you think it's harder to do that and be broke, or to run your 20 to 30 appointments a week and get leads? Which one's harder?
To be broke.
Well, initially it might be easier, and then long term, it's probably much harder.
Yeah, because you're not investing enough into your business. So, you're just pretty much running off, fumes, and, and that's going to come around. And it's like they say, whatever you do today is going to impact you 90 days from now. And so
my friend told me to do that. He goes, whenever you're going to eat, think about how you're going to feel in 10 minutes, how you're going to feel in 10 hours maybe, and how you're going to feel in like 10 days, and how you're going to feel in 10 months every time you eat something. That's kind of a good way to put it, because you don't realize you eat bad, and next thing you know, 10 years down the road, you have terrible health condition or something,
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us how much money you've actually made, because this is all brand new, and I love having new people in here, because you're literally going through everything, the learning process now. So how much money have you actually made? If someone's watching this and they go, "Oh, I'm thinking about Family First Life,"
about 45,000.
So you've got 45,000 deposits
since mid-December. And I've invested about 8 to 9,000.
8 to 9,000 on leads, and you're just learning.
I'm just learning.
And you're building an agency, and you're helping other people. Do you feel happier?
I really do. I even posted yesterday, I love my job. I love this career. I love this business. And there's nothing.
I worked in this industry, but it was different than Family First Life. And I just felt unhappy. And when Family First Life opened up and I was scared to make the jump to the company, the question I asked myself was, why am I so worried if I'm not even happy now? And if you take money out of the equation, how bad is it to do something where you're just not happy inside doing it?
Yeah, and this is a kind of business where, and Clay always says, you can jump, aim for the stars, but if you land on the roof, you're still higher than where you were before. and that's progress. That's just how it works.
Yeah. What are your goals as far as building an agency? How fast?
Well, I've been working with Clay in regards to my growth, and we worked out together as far as the target of plugging in 10 licensed agents weekly and 10 non-licensed. So
So you're doing the 10-10-10 plan. 10K a week in sales,
yes.
10 licensed agents, and 10 non-licensed agents.
Correct.
What are some things you're doing to do that?
Just reaching out. And one thing I do recommend for people that are starting out is just to start recruiting, even if you don't have your license. That's what I did, and planted those seeds, even though I didn't have my whole story yet. I had faith in the company that, that was just reaching out to people. And obviously I'm still learning how to recruit, and, it's a learning experience, but I reached out to them, let them know, showed them the video, plugged them into Facebook. And now that they're seeing my story, they're coming around, and they're the people that are starting to get licensed and things like that.
So there's probably millions of people that are striving for more.
Mm-hmm.
They want more in life, right?
Yeah.
Financially, even a good place to work where you can make a difference. A lot of things that Family First Life has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wanted to work with you, could they call you directly?
Yeah, of course.
How would they reach you?
I can give out my phone number. That's the first thing that I do whenever someone reaches out. I give them my phone number, ask them if they can go ahead and have a quick chat so I can just get to know them a little bit better. I don't really like to do messages a whole lot. I'd rather have a phone conversation with them and get the feel of them. But if they wanted to reach me, they can always reach me at my number at 210-485-8396.
So if someone's watching this and they go, hey, I think I want to work with this person, they can be anywhere in the U.S. You can help them, right?
Yeah, of course.
They can come from any background, licensed or unlicensed. You'll help them. Now, can you talk about how Family First Life pays for the licensing for people?
As far as
like
once they book the test?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you book the test, which is, I'm not sure, I guess it's different in every state, but I know in Texas it's $43. Once you book the test, you send the confirmation to the person that, that's helping you out, and you send that over to the hiring manager that's working with you. And then FFL waives the $200 licensing material as long as you do that.
So you don't have to pay the $200.
You don't have to pay.
So for $43, you can be in business.
Definitely.
And that's got to be the most affordable way to be self-employed and make this kind of money, right?
For sure.
Any tips you would give a new agent?
A new agent, watch as many videos as you possibly can.
What about take action fast?
Definitely.
Because some people watch videos and that's all that happens is they watch videos.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you watch videos and take action?
Just implement what's on the videos. Immediately. And it never fails. I always stumble across a video that helped me out with something that I struggled with, whether it's from an in-home or a situation from a call or, little things like that. So, I recommend for them to just go all in and invest in their business. The more they invest, the faster they can be on the fast track of, getting a bigger return on investment.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in. I'm really excited about building this business with you, especially after meeting you. Your story's amazing, and we're going to do some big things. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.